Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who's new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. Okay sweeties, today we're gonna do something different. I know my content has been very makeup heavy and of course my weekly wrapping tutorial, but I have not done lifestyle in quite some time, and today we're gonna do lifestyle. Okay, so today's video is actually a bit of a mental health kind of a situation update, and I have been actually craving to talk about this topic for quite some time now during this whole corona crisis, but it was just too raw to touch it and to go there and to talk about it. I don't know, it was just a very hard time probably for all of us, and at the end of the day I have to say thank God we're alive and everything is well, so far so good. But still I want to talk about a few things there concerning that, and also in general about mental health and about things that you should not feel guilty for. Now I want to start out actually a bit of a story time about what really got on my nerves during the whole corona crisis. And I hope that by now I can actually say corona without getting demonetized, but let's hope. Okay, so let me just tell you something. You know, I have, if you're new here, you don't know, I have 7 kids. They're in the range between 13 and 3, almost 4. So I had 7 kids in 9 years, and all of them were at home for almost 3 months. There was homeschooling. There was, of course, me and also my husband working from home. There is this, the YouTube, you know, so I was busy, you know. So okay, then with the whole Zoom lessons, and I have mentioned already in one of my previous videos, in a live update video, the Zoom lessons drove me nuts. You know, like if you don't have a room for each child who has a computer in each room, you know, then that is a complete disaster waiting to happen. If like 6 out of 7 kids have Zoom lessons and you have 3 computers, but also the parents need the computers to get their work done. Now I was trying to work as much as possible during the night, which drives me crazy because I'm not getting to sleep. During the day I'm not getting to sleep either because the house is full of people. There is no privacy, no way to really withdraw because there is noise everywhere. And that 3 months, and in that also of course high holidays, Passover, and so I very quickly reached the point where I thought I'm going to just get up and knock my head against the wall because I cannot take it. Now that I've painted this whole backdrop for you, okay? So let me just give you an example of the messages that I got or that were sent around in certain women groups and certain groups, okay, WhatsApp groups. It was the joy of my day, every single day, okay? I know that these messages came from good hearts that wanted to just point out the positive in this whole situation, because it also doesn't help to always dwell on the negative, right? But it just drove me nuts. They were messages like, the positive effects of corona, okay? Have you ever had so much time to look at the sky? Have you ever stopped so many times to smell the flowers? Have you ever just sat there and admired a butterfly? Are you kidding me? I wanted to throw the phone out of the window or like drown it in the pool, or I don't know. This is not even real. Like, what kind of life are you living? Especially like in a country like where I'm living, where most people have a lot of children and most people are like, my situation is not unique. You know, there are a lot of people who have this situation, and I just couldn't believe that those messages were actually coming from people in my situation, you know, which in return made me feel even worse, because then I had to feel, what's wrong with me? Why can I never stop to smell the roses? Why am I always stressed? Why am I such a failure? Why am I not doing a puzzle with my children? Because I kind of started to hate everybody. You know, because if you never get a break, if you can never distance yourself, you never actually want to be with anyone. Does anyone understand this? I felt so lonely in this whole situation because everybody seemed to have the time of their life. And I know that not everybody did, but the people who sent around these messages, and then also the people responding to the messages and saying, wow, this is so beautiful. And I just felt like I wanted to throw up, you know, and I cannot, like, I couldn't even say anything to those messages because I felt like I'm going to ruin the joy for everybody if I'm bringing in reality, you know. At least my reality looked completely different, and I really, really suffered mentally in those last 3 months. It was horrible. It was horrible. It pushed me almost to the breaking point. You also probably noticed that I upload way less videos because my creativity has suffered like I couldn't even tell you. I don't think I've ever in my creative journey be at a point where I am so bad off as of right now. So it's just God's grace that I'm still sitting here and that I'm still getting in front of the camera, and really, and also I also have said that already in videos beforehand, that having this place here where I can be and where I can still just experiment and be and whatever and breathe and be alone sort of, except you, of course, that was my life-saving, I don't know, this was my lifeline here, you know. So I just wanted to share that with you because I just wanted to put that out there, that I'm actually not really doing well, you know. Also, and that is something that you don't see because you only see the edited version of my videos, I have struggled so bad with concentration, with trying to get my thoughts together about videos, about, especially in chatty videos, you know, the new makeup releases videos. Sweeties, I have filmed content for like 1.5 hours and then narrowed it down to like 40 minutes. But can you imagine in those remaining minutes that I filmed, how much garbage was there? Because I filmed every sentence like 5-6 times and I just couldn't get it right. And it was very disheartening because I don't know myself this way. I'm always a bit of a scatterbrain. And as I told you, I don't remember the names of my raps. I don't remember stuff so well, you know, because stuff like this is just not important to me. Important stuff that is important to me, of course I remember that, but like names and stuff is like, whew. So anyway, I don't know, it was very, very, very hard, and I just pulled myself together as much as I could because I felt like I have to be there for my husband, I have to be there for my family, my kids, my in-laws who also need help because they couldn't leave the house because they were in, you know, above age 65, so they had to, of course, be protected especially, and things like this. So I try to keep it together and push through and do it all and do it like with grace, you know, because we're not doing it in a pajama. So but now that we're sort of starting to get back to life a little bit, slowly, I feel like now I'm completely losing my composure, and I don't know, it would feel really, really good if anyone could just comment and say, I feel like you. Please. I mean, don't lie if you're not feeling like this, but I just feel so alone in this because everybody seems to be so happy and so content, and everything is just easy breezy, and I just really, really don't feel like that, you know. So with all of that being said, I want to get into a few points because I felt like apologizing a lot for what I'm feeling because I'm not apparently feeling like everybody else, you know, and for being who I am because apparently I'm not being like everybody else. So I want to get into a few points that we shouldn't apologize for. And I got this, it's actually a post on Instagram that I got from Hospital Cosmetics. And if you are dealing, if you're interested in mental health issues, Hospital Cosmetics is an amazing site where they post amazing stuff about mental health, and I'm following them, or her, I'm pretty sure it's a woman. So anyway, it's an amazing site, and I highly recommend that for you. Okay, so in this post there are 6 things that you shouldn't apologize for, and there are probably way more than that, but I'm gonna leave it at those 6 because, you know, yeah. Okay, the first one is needing time alone. Now, that is, of course, during those last 3 months, it was very, very hard for me to do because you cannot leave the house. You can't basically like do anything, and you're stuck in the house with 8 other people, and it's not a mansion, you know, you're not spread out and everybody has their own wing, you know, we are all like stuck together. The kids all share rooms. None of my kids has a room on their own. So everybody is getting on each other's nerves, and it is absolutely impossible to ever really be alone and feel like now I can breathe. So, and then if you do it, if you withdraw and you hear the kids fighting in the meantime, then you already feel, as a mom, you feel like, no, I cannot sit down now, I cannot withdraw now, I cannot, because I have to sort out the fight, or I have to make food, or I have to clean up, or I have to give baths, or I have to do this or that or the other thing, or I have to edit videos, or I have to answer comments. Have you noticed that I have been hardly answering comments lately? It's because everything has been overwhelming me like crazy, you know? So that is that, you know, we should not have to apologize, especially as moms. We need our time to breathe. And this here is my time to breathe, but I wish I would also have time to breathe that is just on my own, where I don't have to perform, you know, and this is not a performance, but you know what I mean, you know, where I don't have to be on point, where my brain doesn't need to work, you know, where I can just be the way I am without anything, you know, even without makeup, without anything, you know. So that was the first point. Then the next thing is saying no. Again, as a mom, and probably as a woman in general, and maybe also as a man, I don't know how many men are watching me, but saying no is a big issue. Do you know that? I have never learned to say no. It only came now with, I don't know, maybe within the last 5 years or so, that I started to find myself in the way I am, or in the way that I want to be, and also say no to the things that are like religiously expected from me, the way I should dress, the way I should behave, the way that I shouldn't pose in front of the camera. That is not modest. Why would you do that? You know? And I say no to that, because this is who I am, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to be, this is how I inspire people, and also I inspire other religious people. It's not like I'm inspiring a lot of, I don't know, other people, you know? So the saying no is something that we have to learn, that is actually super important for us to find ourselves, to find our space, you know. It is very important. So saying no, and I'm not there yet. I have to say no way more often, and a lot of things I do because I feel guilty, you know. I feel guilty because I don't dare to say no, I don't want to offend, I don't want to do this or that, you know. And it's sort of, okay, if I say no, I'll have a confrontation, and that is an issue. And I don't want that, because I'm a person that just needs love and harmony in her life. But it's sometimes love and harmony comes with a price that is just too high, you know. Sometimes you have to say no, and sometimes you will be surprised that the other person will actually understand, you know. Yeah, so okay, so that was the second thing. The third thing sort of also goes into that direction, and that is having your own priorities and sticking to them. You know, I could have, for example, I'm just, you know, pulling my channel as an example in all the time, because of course this is my channel. So I could have said in those whole 3 months, I'm not going to film. I don't really have time for this. Filming maybe yes, but I won't have the time to edit all of these videos. And for the first part of those 3 months, I actually had like 5-6 videos up every week. I don't even know how I did it. You know, I was running on borrowed steam apparently, and I don't know. And I was working way too hard, and I was sleeping way too less, and I'm still sleeping way too less, because at some point it also started to be an issue that even if I had the time, I couldn't sleep anymore, because I was so I don't know, wound up that it didn't work anymore, you know. And even if I would fall asleep, I would wake up every hour, and I would be nervous and looking at the clock and thinking, oh no, I have to wake up in 2 hours and I have to get up and work again, and how I'm gonna get everything done, and everything turns, and it's like, what? You know? So your priorities, the things that make you happy, these are important things, and we cannot always cut back on ourselves. Again, that is a very mommy thing to do, that mommies cut back on their own things that they love, and the time that they need, and all of these things, because they need to be there for their children, and the children always comes first, and the family always come first, and all of that. And that is not true. You need to take care of yourself first. Other than that, you will not be a happy mother. And believe me, I know what I'm saying. because I'm not always happy, you know? Okay, next thing, your opinions and beliefs. Now, that is also, of course, a thing that goes for me personally a lot into the direction of saying no or yes, you know, because opinions, that is a lot about saying no or yes. And also here on my channel, I feel like it's a bit of I don't know, walking on a sword's edge sometimes, because let's just pull in another example, okay? The Jeffree Star cremation palette that we spoke about some time ago. Now, I don't know when you're seeing this video, so I don't want to like put dates on it. So anyway, Jeffree Star came out with that palette, and of course I am of the opinion and I believe that what he did was horrible. Did he plan that palette in last September? Yes, maybe. I don't think that he planned it 2 months ago and came on purpose out with a palette that is called Cremation and has basically a, I don't know, a dust and ashes theme now during the Corona crisis. I believe that that was not his purpose or his intent. But does it make it any better? No, for me, it is still just as much garbage and disgusting, because there are certain things that you just don't go to. You know, you don't go there. You don't go to cremation. You do not go to, I don't know, cancer. What's the next thing? A cancer palette? Like a cancer in the sense of the cancer sickness? Is it going to be like a chemotherapy palette? Or is it an amputation palette? Or what is next? Is nothing holy anymore, you know? But I know there are a lot of people who love this stuff and who are intrigued by this. And the second I'm putting out my opinions and beliefs, I'm putting myself in a very vulnerable spot, you know? So it is very, very easy for people from the security and the animosity, I think. Is it that? To be an anonymity, I don't know, of their own home, to sit at the keyboard and type a nasty comment and just like bash YouTubers for their opinions and beliefs. And that is so wrong, you know? Yes, you can say your opinion, and I'm not saying this to any of you because all of you have been really, really nice. I'm just saying that in general because I also see, of course, what's happening with my YouTube colleagues, you know? So yes, you can say your opinion, but you cannot shout at a person who is saying her opinion, you know? That is just not normal good behavior. We have not been raised this way, do we? You know? So really, and if it wouldn't be that that other person who is commenting sits, I don't know, at the other side of the world in his or her own private room and nobody can detect or confront that person directly, I don't think necessarily that those people would have the courage to confront me or my fellow YouTubers personally, you know, face to face. So yeah, so that is that, you know, opinions and beliefs, you are allowed to have them and you are allowed to live according to that, you know, so that is that. Then the next thing is telling the truth, which is of course also sort of sliding into this opinions and beliefs, because your truth, this is what you believe, this is what you have recognized as real and as your truth, then that is what it is, and this is how you shape your life, and this is how also your emotions and everything around you will sort of mold to that, you know? So I believe, for example, my truth is that I'm a queen. No matter what situation, or if it's Corona or not, I'm going to get dressed, I'm going to put on my makeup, and no matter what I do at home or if I leave the house or not, I will be at my best, and that will be good for me. So that is my truth, and this is how I'm living, and I long ago stopped apologizing for it because I got quite some heat for this, you know, because yeah, you're so self-centered and you're this and that and the other thing. No, I'm not. I'm just taking care of myself. This is my truth. Okay, so the last thing is having high expectations. Now, that is also a two-edged sword, because having too high expectations and having high expectations is, you know, two different things. And then it's also, do you have too high expectations of yourself, which is obviously going to lead to your downfall, because you will always be disappointed, and disappointment in yourself will drag you down, and it will take your crown away from you. And I also experience that all the time, because no matter how hard I push me, no matter how many times I'm being told in comments on social media or here on the videos how gorgeous I am and how sweet I am and thank you so much and you're such an inspiration, I will always feel, Leorah, you can do better. You know, and not that I ever hear that from you, but I'm telling that myself, because I've always pushed myself like crazy. I always needed to be the best. This is how I grew up. This is how I've been my whole life. And this is how, or this is why I have struggled with myself, with loving myself my whole life. Most of my life, I've hated myself, you know, and even now I'm not quite sure what I'm thinking about myself. So as you know, when I started my channel 2 years ago, I started this channel because of therapy. This was my place of therapy, of growing out of my eating disorder and of just trying to be okay somehow. And seeing myself after filming, seeing myself in the videos, I could sort of judge much better how I really am, you know, because myself in my body at that moment, I couldn't feel it and I couldn't see it. I could only see it when I saw myself from the outside. So that is how I created my channel. But having those high expectations is always a part of me, even now. Now that I've gone through a long time of therapy with my eating disorder and I'm already in a much better place. And by the way, I told you a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago or so, that I, during the Corona crisis, started to go back to therapy because I really struggled with my eating when this whole catastrophe hit. And I went back to therapy and I'm on a much better track now, just as a little update here in the middle of this. But high expectations is a thing, you know. I'm expecting to keep my weight. I'm expecting to, you know, be a role model for a lot of people. I'm expecting that of myself, and I cannot let you down. I cannot let myself down. I cannot let my family down. I cannot let Rapunzel down, the company that I'm working with in collaboration with my scarves. And you know, I'm trying to always make everybody happy, and I'm trying to always deliver and not disappoint, and that is a killer. It is a killer. It is really hard, and I highly encourage you to try. If you're struggling with that, to try your best to get out of it. And I'm not saying that from a standpoint of, wow, I know how to do this. I'm always and this is also the saying no and whatever, you know, because sometimes you have to say no. Sometimes if someone asks you, can you do a tutorial or whatever, then I have already now a couple of times said, please go and find another channel to, you know, there are a lot of tutorials for this. Please go and find another channel to watch it. And it's crazy. I would have never thought that I would send one of my subscribers to a different channel, because that feels so wrong. But I also have to protect myself, you know, because I just cannot do everything. So that is, you know, to realize that your super high expectations of yourself could be a problem. But there is a flip side to this. Have high expectations of yourself, you know, not too high, but high, because if you're reaching the right amount of high expectations, it will actually propel you forward, and you will actually get to a better place, you know, because if you're just sitting there and, I don't know, let's just say the overweight thing, okay, because I'm struggling with this definitely, and according to the body mass index, I am still quite like really overweight, you know. I would have to lose 7 kilos in order, which is like something like 14 pounds if you're going according to pounds. So in order to even reach the border between overweight and normal weight, you know, just like for your information. So let's say the overweight thing. If you're just sitting there and saying, I can't do anything and it really doesn't matter, I mean, who looks at me anyway, and whatever, you know, and I'm married, I have my kids, they love me anyway, and whatever. So that is no expectations. This means no expectations. Now, if you do have high expectations of yourself, you will tell yourself, I can do this. I can turn myself into a queen. Does that mean I have to gain normal weight? No, I have to reach normal weight, sorry. No, not necessarily. But you can get to a place where you feel better, where your self-esteem is better, where you maybe, yes, maybe you will fit into 2 sizes smaller. Maybe you don't even need to lose more weight, you know, but maybe this will be enough to just put your soul into a better position where you actually start to sparkle. And again, I'm saying that also along a lot of times when I say at the end of my videos, go ahead and sparkle, I mean it. I mean it. Find your sparkles. This is what is having high expectations of yourself, is you have to find them, because usually, unless you're living in a fairy tale, they will not rain down at you from, like, I don't know, some kind of fairy. No, you will have to go and you have to make it happen. And this is what you do when you have high expectations of yourself. You know, you can sit down at a family dinner and you can decide, today I'm not going to overeat. You don't even have to say to yourself, I'm not going to ever overeat again. But you can say, now for this meal, I'm going to be okay with just 1 plate full of food. Believe me, this is an issue for me too. It is an issue. I'm coming from this background and I know what I'm talking about, and I know if you're interested, let me know if I should make like another video about like eating stuff, eating related issues and stuff. Let me know, okay? Because I can definitely talk about that, because I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. Okay, so that is really the last point that I wanted to make. Don't kill yourself with super high expectations. Leorah, don't kill yourself with this. But have healthy high expectations that will actually move you out of your rut and bring you to a place where you can actually finally see the sparkles that have always been there, but that had no chance to come out because, you know, it was covered up by all the dust, by gathering dust from being in the same place. All right, sweeties, this is it for today. I hope that was helpful for you, and if not, then maybe it was at least entertaining for you and we got to spend some friendship time together, girlfriend time. And besides that, of course, leave me your comments, what you think about that, in the comment section down below. You will find my makeup in the description box together with everything else you need to know about me. And of course, please subscribe to my channel. Maybe you know that I have usually makeup content, but also once in a while I do lifestyle and I really do enjoy it. So if you are up for that, then please subscribe, and I'll see you here next time for my next video, which is going to be super soon. And up until then, go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.